Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? We are obviously here, it's Paul by the way, you knew it was Paul, we are here for a wee bonus bit of content. Us, meaning myself, Macho Mick, Hulk Harvey, we are going to go over the New Japan versus AEW Forbidden Door card, and we're going to give our predictions. Let's see in a few days whether we're right or wrong. As always, how are you guys doing?
I'm okay, brother.
Oh, Hulk Harvey, brother! Keeping it kayfabe. Yes. How's the workhorse doing, man? How you doing?
Surviving.
Surviving. Weird on a Friday night, but hey, it's literally a historical bit of wrestling history we're coming up to see on the weekend here. So, bonus content, absolutely. Myself, I will be doing my best Freddie Mercury impression as my mic stand has lost its bass, so there's going to be a lot of Dale. So, wee side note, if you would like, and if you haven't already, don't forget to leave us
5 stars, baby! Boom!
Thank y'all. Right, lads, well, we just get straight into this card. It is an 11-match card. First of all, is that not just too much? As always.
It's on the cusp of being one hell of a night. Like,
it's going to be a long night.
Aye. Like 12 matches is no bad if you do 2 or 3 of them as a buy-in, and then the rest of them, like, they're well paced, and you know, like, you don't have them all being fucking 30-40 minutes long, then you can get away with it. But
it's going to be a long night. I do worry because there's a lot of New Japan guys who prefer to go 30 plus minutes, but I suppose we'll see when we get there. I think we'll start straight away with what I assume has been added as an extra buy-in match, and that is Keith Lee and Swerving Our Glory versus El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Lads, where do we think this is going?
I don't know.
You got something?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Right, well, give us a name anyway. Hence, that's why we're here.
I think...
who's got to win? I think Keith Lee in that win.
Right.
Alright, okay, so we're going Keith Lee. Fair enough.
I don't know anything about that team for New Japan, I've got to say.
The names I don't know either.
They're beyond my knowledge base, them. But yeah. I've got to assume, based on AEW TV programming, that Keith Lee will be probably getting the pinfall, and there'll be continued issues between him and Swerve.
The animosity, I noticed that seems to be the thing on Dartler now, is that they'll win and he'll reluctantly fist bump Swerve. Like, he'll ignore him in kind of tags and all that sort of thing. So, a wee bit further moving ahead with that story. And agreed with you, lads, I assume,
by the way,
that is indeed a Keith Lee.
If that's on the main card and no the buy-in, somebody needs to have a word with somebody, because that's not right. that
I think
match
the biggest word would be why.
Aye, just like... Oh, what they doing? I loved that tag team as well, and
it's hurt me. It was. You didn't need to break it.
Nope. Break it.
Exactly. So we'll move on to the other buy-in match. We have Max Caster and the Gun Club, the Ass Boys. Let me hear you say Ass Boys.
Yes, boy.
Yeah. And they will be facing Yuya Uemura, Alex Coughlin, the DKC, and Kevin Knight. Again, I've got to be honest, lads, I have very little knowledge of who they're facing in this buy-in match.
Me either.
Run the names past me again.
Yuya Uemura, Alex Coughlin, the DKC, and Kevin Knight.
I think I've heard of Kevin Knight. Other than that, no idea.
I suppose that's the magic of this. You'll get to see guys that you've maybe never heard of before. Aye.
Is that?
So, I mean, that's.
Are they the crew? Are they the ones that are they like representing the? What do they kind of like the American dojo?
Oh, the Young Lions, right? So these the guys that are the Young Lions, like the dojo guys.
I think so. It rings a bell.
Possibly, by the way, I wouldn't be surprised. New Japan usually have their Young Lions matches kind of pre-show, start of the card, so they do. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was 4 guys here with black trunks and black boots. Like, that's usually the Young Lion thing. They don't get gear. They're just out there to showcase
It's like
how
a
they're doing.
kind of a rung and a half above a jobber. It's
Aye,
like,
basically,
look at these
aye.
guys that have got a bit of potential.
Look at these guys. Assume they might be good one day. Oh dear. So again, not much interest in this, but I assume that Max Caster will be great fun. That's my prediction.
By the way, him and Billy Gunn are an accidental marvel.
The whole faction, by the way, is an accidental marvel. Anytime I see them do anything, it's hilarious, man.
They work somehow. They just
It's just comedy, man. Just a good bit of wrestling comedy. So I'm assuming it's a clean sweep on Caster and the Ass Boys here, aye?
I think so, aye.
Aye. I say Ass Boys. The Ass Man's also in the match, obviously.
Aye, Billy Gunn getting his hands dirty because obviously the big fella's still in the wheelchair.
Aye, Anthony Bowens is still getting wheeled about doing the old Professor X patter, as it were. Oh, jeez, oh. Right, main card, lads, main card. The real stuff. First up, biggest match of the night, arguably. Jon Moxley or Hiroshi Tanahashi? Which way do you see it falling?
After the floor is yours.
I just fucking blanked out. Say that again, sorry.
Jesus fucking Christ. So for Harvey, the biggest match of the night.
Outstanding.
Jon Moxley or Hiroshi Tanahashi for the interim AEW World Championship.
I believe that will be.
I saw it in his face there. I thought he's not there.
I believe that Moxley will win this match. He'll carry the torch until CM Punk is back.
Returns.
Until he returns from injury. Obviously, he's been an AEW champion before. He'll be a good interim until CM Punk returns. I do think it would be crazy if Tanahashi comes away with the belt. That would be mind blowing, to be honest, for them to have an AEW belt. But I don't see it happening though. As cool as it would be, I don't see it happening.
I think potentially it does happen, by the way. I think Moxley is a massive Tanahashi fan. Like, he's been wanting this match for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's with the intention of showing just how generationally talented this man is, Tanahashi. So I expect a 20-minute epic. And I genuinely think there's potential that you might see Moxley looking up at the lights at the end of the night. I could envisage it. I could actually envisage it.
Until it was announced that the IWGP title was going the route of the four-way, and it was looking likely that it was going to be Hangman and Jay White. I fully believed we were going to see like a double switch, like both companies holding the other company's belt. But now I'm not so sure with that four-way. I feel like Okada's coming away with the belt and that. Fuck him, I'm jumping the gun, predicting the wrong match here. But I feel like Okada's getting away with the belt there. So that leads me to think that Moxley's going to come away with the belt here because I don't see one company holding both belts.
It's possible. That's the one thing.
But less likely than a straight swap.
It would be a shock.
For me, my prediction, and I don't actually want it to come true, but my prediction, Mox wins a very close matchup with like a roll-up or something. Like he just barely passed him.
I think that would be the way. If he's going to win, it's going to be just because, I mean, like I say, Tanahashi he's seen as one of the best ever.
He's a god, man. He's been fucking top of the game since like what, mid-90s or something, man. He's
a long time in the game, man. But as old as AJ Styles.
So I don't see Mox like knocking him out and I don't see him submitting him or like hitting him.
I've never seen Tanahashi putting him
clean. So I think it's going to go the way of Mox with a roll up, but I would love to see Tanahashi.
And
I think Mox would be up for it as well. Like you say, Mox looks up to him, so he would definitely put him away.
So I think what we'll do is we'll just switch straight into the next world title match as we're kind of starting to there, and we'll look at this four-way. Obviously, it's Jay White, IWGP World Champion, Hangman Adam Page, Adam Cole, and the Rainmaker. Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming?
Not me.
And I mean, I know. When I was watching it in Thursday morning, getting up for work with the wee man, I heard the coins drop, and I lost my mind. Absolutely, I was like, I can't believe it.
I was utterly confused for like 5 seconds because I heard the and I thought, I'm sure that's Okada's music, but it can't be him because he's no gone. So then I'm just sitting like I'm watching the graphics in the screen like, who's it going to be? Because that sounds like Okada's music, just no believing what's happening. I'm like, oh fucking hell, that's him.
It's the fact that he also comes out dressed like he's away to do a flitting with one of his mates.
Aye. As casual as you like.
He's just dressed as if he's going to help his mate paint a bedroom or something like that.
You white t-shirt on and it's
casual gear. Pair of joggies and a white t-shirt.
It looks as if him and his missus have came to America on holiday and they've realised that the AEW show is on, and he's thought, I'll just go.
Christ, better get to the wrestling, and then he turns up, and the crowd go nuts. Oh dear. So, I mean, going back to your pick here, you think Okada for this, Mike. What about you, Harvey?
I'm the same.
Are you going Okada as well?
I will elaborate very slightly before you go on, Paul, right? I can't see, obviously it's a four-way, right, but I cannot see Okada getting pinned here. Nor can I...
Okada would never... I think Adam Cole takes the pin.
Aye, well, that's what I was saying. Nor can I see Hangman getting pinned.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously he's coming off a drop in his title, so they ain't going to want to make him look weak. So, Adam Cole's the fall guy, it would seem.
Aye.
So, I think it's going to be possibly some sort of disagreement between Jay White and Adam Cole.
Yep.
Leading to Okada pinning Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And then we might have a storyline develop for there between like Bullet Club and all and Undisputed Elite or something like that.
Yeah.
I suppose you could splinter into that from this as a long-term feud. Aye, that's true.
That was my thinking. I was thinking that Okada will win because obviously Adam Cole and Jay White obviously seen during the week that Adam Cole's got to smash Jay White with the belt. And he turns around, he's like, something's going to happen in there, and that Okada's going to use that to his advantage and win.
Oh dear. Right, well, I'm going to again go with the possibility of a belt swap, and I'm going to suggest Hangman Adam Page.
Ooh. And
I'm going to suggest it's Adam Cole that's pinned, and it's going to lead to an absolute freak out for Jay White, obviously, because...
Aye.
He didn't trust Adam Cole, and now Adam Cole's fucked him over by getting pinned.
Again, that continues that same sort of storyline.
Yeah.
So it could, I can totally see it going either way.
I mean, as a talent swap for a few months, Hangman enjoying some New Japan love as a champion, even if it's a transitional champion. Same way Tanahashi, obviously, till Punk's back.
Tanahashi, I've never heard him utter a single word of English, I don't think.
That's the downside there, obviously, is that he cannot speak English. However, I think his actions speak for himself as a big attraction coming in to either drop the belt with a good match or to have a couple of wins and then drop the belt. Like 3 matches as a title reign, as a transitional interim champion, I don't think would be the worst thing. I could see a world in which that exists. Oh dear. Right, I'm curious. I am conscious that we only have so much time as this is a wee bonus episode here, so I will rattle through wee quick ones here that really, let's be honest, it's not the matches we're watching the pay-per-view for. Thunder Rosa Toni Storm, where do you see this going? AEW Women's Champion. Do you see retain Thunder Rosa?
I think Thunder Rosa wins. I think it'll be a very, very tough match. I think that Toni Storm comes out looking strong though. They make her look strong, it's not a walkover for Thunder Rosa. I don't think it's too. I say this, but it's too quick for Toni Storm.
Potentially, yeah.
She's not had a
title.
proper build.
Aye. So I think they use this match to then create a better storyline for her to then become the champion.
I think what Michael suggested with Thunder Rosa turning her heel, I think would be the best outcome of this match. Thunder Rosa is a heel winning. Me too. And if it's a clean Thunder Rosa win, it's just going to lead to more apathy as far as I'm concerned.
I think we're looking at 10 to 15 minutes, fast-paced match. Tony Storm looking good, but Thunder Rosa beating her to the punch and getting the win. And I just really hope that she turns heel.
Aye, it would definitely help. So, another one of the wee feature matches. Again, build questionable, but is it going to be a good match? Probably. Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy.
Possibly a match. Card Stealer might be match of the night, man. Like it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be fast paced. There's going to be spots. It's going to be a great match. It's just
I think in the 2 minutes they were in
the
ring, they stole the show, Matt. You saw what was coming potentially, and it was lightning in a bottle. Whether you like Orange Cassidy's gimmick or no, you cannot deny that. See, when he goes, it is a marvel, man. He is incredible when he goes at top speed.
The two of them, Ospreay and Cassidy, they're actually really similar in some ways in their style. Like, both of them like to have a slow paced match with lots of like face offs, lots of like sort of seemingly random kind of chain wrestling bits, but then that's intertwined with like high paced striking and crazy fucking high flying and sprinting from one end of the ring to the other and flipping over ropes and stuff. Like it'll be interesting to. I'm really looking for that. It might be the one I'm looking for most forward to. I think that and the tag match.
That says everything, doesn't it, man? You never knew you needed it, but now you're like, holy shit, I need to see it. Like, wow.
I just wish this was like the culmination of 6 months of retelling. You know what I mean? That's the only thing.
I think that would have been nicer. I think next year, if they do a Forbidden Door 2, you'll see a lot more cohesiveness.
I think
both companies are used
to. They could have not to drag it on too long, but they could have. Just the only thing I'll say on it is that they could have had a storyline building way back from when it was announced that Best Friends were joining up with Chaos.
Aye, there could have been something in there.
They could have had them and United Empire feuding on both sides of the pond, as it were.
Aye, because I mean the United Empire and Chaos were feuding originally because obviously that's who Ospreay used to belong to, was Chaos. So it's. But I think like I say, that's just like learning, isn't it? Like two companies try to kind of work together politically better and all this.
It's got to be a headache trying to organise this, man.
Aye, exactly, man. Exactly.
Aye.
Oh, I just realised something I never actually got a prediction.
Oh, sorry, give me a wee quick prediction then. On you go.
Christ. My gut actually says Cassidy. I think Cassidy might take it.
Right.
I don't know why, but
we cheeky Cassidy.
It should be on paper. It should be Will Ospreay.
I mean, I think it will be Ospreay. I've got to say, Ospreay's one of their big guys. Ospreay's one of their big guys.
I think Ospreay wins, but it'll be a very competitive match.
It'll be fun.
Ospreay comes away with the win. Yeah.
And I think if you're Orange Cassidy and you say to Orange Cassidy 2018, you'll be having these banger matches on massive pay-per-views against all the world's best. I think he would have took that, like to think where he is and where he was, like, it's incredible, man.
It wasn't that long ago that Orange Cassidy was wrestling with a mask on.
Exactly. I mean, it's mad to think.
Completely different wrestler.
It's mad to think, like, where he's came from. It's a genius gimmick, man. It really is. It's a genius gimmick. So, the dudes with attitudes, boys. Who are the dudes with attitudes? They are, what a name, honestly, that's bulk. Darby Allin, Sting, and Los Ingobernables de Japón, which are the team of Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi, who, by the way, in their own right, those two guys are fucking phenomenal. Shingo and Hiromu Takahashi. multiple time champions, junior heavyweight champions. They are facing the Bullet Club for one night only, including the Young Bucks. So that'll be Young Bucks, El Phantasmo, sorry, and Hikuleo. Obviously, what's his name? The absolute hardnut Tongans boy.
Oh, Haku.
Haku, aye, that's the man. That Kev's the tip of my. I was going Meng, but Meng was his WCW name, wasn't it, back in the day?
That's a throwback,
I
man.
mean, technically I've failed successfully there, but so on. So I think just to sum this up, I imagine Bullet Club win. Bullet Club are classic NJPW and pretty much why All Elite Wrestling exists because of their popularity.
Like it makes of all the matches in this card that don't make that much sense, this is the one that makes the least amount of sense.
Although every time Sting has a pay-per-view match, it's fucking phenomenal.
Oh, I don't doubt it'll be fun.
You can't argue it. It'll be ridiculous, and he'll dive off something, and we'll all be terrified, but then we'll all cheer. It's the same, rinse and repeat every pay-per-view. It shouldn't work, it does. I cannot understand it. Absolutely mental. Where do you see the win going, Harvey? And Michael, you were kind of in agreement with Bullet Club, weren't you?
Aye, I can't see past them winning.
Aye.
I think it'll be one of the Japanese lads will take the pin. Like I don't see Stinger. Maybe Darby, but I certainly don't see Stinger.
Darby, maybe if anybody. I think possibly. I mean, Shingo and Takahashi are kind of big guys. They're both very good.
I'm with yous.
Aye, so Bullet Club then.
Aye.
Bullet Club on the way. The belt. We'll move on to the belt that nobody asked for yet somehow. May produce again an absolute banger. Pac versus Miro versus Malachi Black versus Clark Connors, who replaced Tomohiro Ishii due to injury. And this is a 4-way for the inaugural AEW All Atlantic Championship. Why All Atlantic? Why no? Who wins? Don't know. I could argue here for Miro as God's favourite champion to just give that man a belt, basically, and watch him crush folk. I could also argue for Pac due to the way they kind of put over the English and British sort of crowd. Like, it would suggest that they're embedding a wee seed that they plan to do the London show at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about yourselves, lads?
Well, this one, I'm kind of like, so Malachi Black in one hand would be a great first champion. It would elevate him as well. But then you have Miro, who, I mean, he was a brilliant champion before he went and did his wee acting stint, right? So Miro comes back, gets this belt, he'll be a fighting champion. He's been there, done it, so that's a perfect opportunity to put another belt on him.
Okay, so we're thinking more Miro, leaning to Miro.
Kind of, sort of.
It would be great. It would be a great chance for him to put Malachi's name in the history books and all. Like, it would, it would be a significant win for him.
That's also true.
Getting that title would have been inconsistent, like, in the booking of him and the House of Black. So it's kind of like could make up for it, and then they could try and rewrite that and steer it into another, into a good storyline. That would be a good way to do it with that belt. Yeah, I'm up in. I don't know.
Up in there. How up in there are you, Michael? Are you up in there? Are you?
I'm all place for this one. I've got to say, same. A lot of it depends on what their kind of view of this belt and where they want to go with the belt is. If they're going to hold it in high enough esteem, Miro would be pretty much the best choice in the match in terms of previous title runs and the fact that you want to see him getting gold back on him and working his way up that card. However, if this is going to be a belt that's like very much a kind of mid-card belt that we only see on pay-per-views or a tour in Europe or whatever, then Pac is the more obvious choice. You mentioned, Paul, like very much hinting that they're coming to the UK sooner rather than later. They're really happy to sort of that they're effectively the number one wrestling company in the UK in terms of TV viewership.
I mean, it's not a lie. Like,
I know it's
comfortably,
the truth, man,
comfortably AEW.
Obviously aided by the fact that their own ITV
more accessible,
but nevertheless they've got that viewership. However, my head actually says Malachi.
Oh, so two going for Malachi.
So like my heart says Pac. I'd love to see that man get a belt. He's like a fantastic wrestler, and I think he would be much further up the card if he would commit to moving to America. But because he's like a flight, not a flight risk, but in a sense he's a flight risk because they don't know if he'll get a flight at times.
I think you saw that during the pandemic.
He was struggling to get
so things. Good, men they kept him because they got rid of lesser wrestlers who couldn't also make it. Like,
so he's very deserving, and I think it would be cool based on what the belt's meant to be. It would be cool for it to be in somebody that's essentially no American or based in America, and then maybe can show up in other promotions or whatever.
I mean, I never thought about that, and that's not a bad shout, Michael.
But
that's not a bad shout at all.
I've got to say, my head says Malachi Black, just based on booking that's led to this point. He's the guy that's like, he's on a run. If like him and House of Black are going somewhere.
Aye, that's. I mean, I can make arguments for 3 out of the 4. Clark Connors, perfectly good wrestler. He's in there just to make up the numbers.
The fact that he wasn't meant to be in the match kind of tells you everything you need to care.
I think it really does tell you everything.
He's taking the pin, by the way.
Potentially. So a couple more matches to go over here, lads. Les Sex Gods, the return of Les Sex Gods. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara with the best named tag team in the world. They team up with let's go Harvey again. They team up with Minoru Suzuki and they face Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta and Shota Umino. I would assume this is a win for Les Sex Gods and Minoru Suzuki. Comfortably.
I was going to say
10 minutes, rock song kind of style, facing win.
Heels win. That's.
I
love Chris Jericho, man.
Chris Jericho as a heel is the best thing in the world, man. It really is.
I love his commentary too. We need him on the commentary more often, man. I swear to God.
He was fantastic last week in the commentary, man. He was so fucking funny. It's like he's doing like an impression of himself. Like it's like that's what he's turned into now. It's just pure laughs he's gone for. Like absolutely brilliant. Still, for my money, as important as anybody at the top of the card in AEW. Just surely for the entertainment of him, like some guy. So last match that we come to review here, lads, and this is one I've got to say I'm probably most excited for. FTR versus United Empire versus Roppongi Vice. And this is for everything. 3-way, winner takes all tag team match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship and the IWGP Tag Team Ship. 2 belts on the line, 1 team can walk away. Where is it going? Now, Havano sold that beautifully there.
Just because you said the IWGP Tag Team Ship, you forgot the champion bit.
Oh, damn it! I didn't sell it good then.
That got me.
So
gotta be FTR. Gotta be.
Has to be. It could only be.
Sure.
As if it's no FTR, the only way it's no FTR is if United Empire are willing to like be in America for an extended period of time.
Grey O'Connor, Jeff Cobb.
Then name maybe, but I still think FTR.
I would assume it's probably FTR. Roppongi Vice, bless them, they're in there for the pin taking, I believe. Whether it's Rocky or Trent, probably Rocky, I would imagine.
Unfortunately, I would agree with that.
I would imagine they're there. I mean, Roppongi Vice are great, like, and they've got a great history in New Japan as junior heavyweight tag champs and as I believe as tag champs as well. I think. No, I'm fine. It's just junior.
In an alternative universe, Roppongi Vice would have took the Ring of Honor titles off of FTR a few weeks ago, and that would have led perfectly into this match where all three teams had a set of belts, and AAA would allow the belts to be on the line in this match.
This is This is
then it would have been really
mention of
interesting.
AAA.
But as it is, FTR's got to win here.
Politics, mate, just politics.
I think FTR. Do you know, I was reading something the other day, and this person was saying about United Empire taking the belt, but United Empire they beat FTR, and then Roppongi Vice can use that as a way to start a feud with FTR by saying to FTR, you didn't pin us, like, right, okay. Right, okay.
I
don't know why that happened.
See,
they're swerve, like,
I think that whoever that was saying that, I think they might be half onto something. I've got a suspicion that Roppongi Vice are going to be the next team to hold the Ring of Honor titles.
Right.
Possibly.
I think that they're going to take the belts for FTR down the road. I think that's where it's very slow building to. Once Ring of Honor's up and running, I think we'll see Roppongi Vice take their titles and they'll feature on Ring of Honor for a while, just to kind of elevate the tag division in Ring of Honor.
By the way,
they're a good underdog kind of babyface team, and I know they've got that Gates of Agony team kind of in the back pocket now to be Ring of Honor exclusive as well, obviously. Whenever that eventually happens.
Just need to correct myself there, sorry. Just when you said about Roppongi Vice being the next Ring of Honor, the person was saying FTR win by pinning United Empire. Sorry.
Oh, so that can continue. I suppose that makes sense.
Right, that makes a lot more sense.
Obviously does, to be honest. But I mean, it was a swerve.
I could see that happening then.
That immediately sounds very, very logical all of a sudden, doesn't it?
God.
I'm hoping and praying that at the next AEW pay-per-view we get FTR with all the belts.
All the belts.
Everything.
I want to see them versus Bucks.
Everything versus everything.
And I want to see them
undisputed world
belts.
champions. That'd be tremendous. Right. I think lastly, lads, we'll all give a wee kind of match. What do we think is going to be the match of the night? Out of everything we've seen.
Or yet to see.
Or yet to see. Everything we've talked about here.
I don't know, because I'm still trying to wrap my head out who's going to be the surprise guest. Who's going to be wrestling first.
Of course. We forgot that match. Quickly, let's do that. Zack Sabre Jr. versus the mystery opponent. Christ, aye. So obviously Danielson injured, can he do it?
I tell you what, right, so obviously, backstage chat, like what we've been messaging about, it seems to be that Cesaro's the front runner to be the mystery opponent. That has the potential to be right up there with the best matches of the night, if that is indeed Cesaro.
Absolutely, aye, absolutely.
Or, well, sorry, what's his name? Castagnoli.
Castagnoli, aye, or Claudio Cesaro, or CSRO, or whatever he potentially
whatever route it goes with, aye.
Aye, well, I mean, we all seem to think that it's going to be Cesaro, obviously, of WWE for years and years. There's also shout that it could be the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham. The only thing that would pull me away from that belief is that Jonathan Gresham's the Ring of Honor World Champion. Would you want a Ring of Honor World Champion in Blackpool Combat Club? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I think it's going to be Cesaro, and I think Cesaro wins that. Obviously, we'll see what the match is like.
Although, in fairness, it depends whether or not they want to continue the feud between him and Danielson. Because if you want to build to watch a match between him and Danielson, then you want Sabre Jr. to go over.
I think if you had a fit Danielson, Sabre Jr. would have won this, but I don't know because it's a surprise, because it's a big surprise. Danielson would put over anybody and everybody he could if he'd get away with it. Like, his last couple of months in WWE, he's losing to Drew Gulak, who's now a backstage reporter. Just because he appreciates how good a wrestler Drew Gulak is, yet WWE just cannot see it because he says he's not a bodybuilder. I'll pay you $3 million to shut the fuck up. Right, that's the last to say that.
So
right.
we're all in agreement. It's Claudio Castellano, however.
Aye, most likely it's going to be the artist formerly known as Cesaro.
And the artist formerly known as careful way of putting it, by the way. I think that's what it should be called. That'd be fucking awesome. Imagine that. Comes out in pink clays and he just strips them off like it used to be his James Bond gear. The ruffled up bit at the front, the purple suit, just wheek, and he's in fucking pants again. Give me that. The artist formerly known as Cesaro. That'd be class. Aye, so back to the match of the night chat. What do we think? Just before we go. Match of the night, who's it going to be?
Toss up for me. It's between Ospreay and Orange Cassidy or the Triple Threat tag match. One of the two is going to run away with it. I just don't know.
Aye. I mean, it could be. Fuck, there's a lot of good matches on there. It could be. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. They could all be brilliant for different reasons. Every single one of them. But aye. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my pick is Max Caster and the Ass Boys versus no kidding. No, I actually believe that it may be the 4-way for the IWGP World.
That might be a good one. Aye.
Anyway, Okada, Hangman.
Aye.
I feel like there's a wee bit too much ego in there, a wee bit too many big names. I don't know if there's enough breathing room in that match. It depends how much time they give them. If they're expecting them to do that match in 15-20 minutes, I don't think it'll be anywhere near as good as it could be. But if they're going to let it breathe,
it'll be 25 minutes.
25-30 minutes, you could be right.
Aye.
I have a question before we leave.
Right, okay.
This is going back, so obviously, he hasn't been on for a while. MJF. Remember when he was cutting his promo, he was talking shit about New Japan?
He did, aye.
Do you think that he makes an appearance here for some reason, like to spoil something?
I don't think he's coming at all. I don't think you'll see him at all. I think this is... we're going to enter a few months where we don't see MJF. At first I thought this was a work. It would now appear that he literally went off on his own wee tangent and just swore furiously at his gaffer on live telly. Well, so I don't think you'll see MJF at this pay-per-view, mate.
That was just a theory.
A wee theory
I've seen floating about.
When we're talking theories, just think of this image. It's not so much a theory or a prediction or anything else, but just think of this image before the pay-per-view ends and fades to black. Well, I don't actually know the match order, but just let's assume that the IWGP title is the last match, right? At 4 ways, that's the main event. Okada wins. He's leaving. He's walking up the ramp. Omega's music hits. And we have Kenny Omega, and Okada face to face at the top of the ramp before we fade to black.
Now that would be an absolutely killer way to end it, because that is regarded by a lot as the greatest ever pro wrestling rivalry.
Yep.
Just for the fact that the matches are incredible.
They are incapable of having a bad match. They too.
They're just joined.
See, actually, anybody that listens to this who's an AEW fan but isn't, like, either they've never watched New Japan or they've maybe watched it a wee bit years ago but they don't keep up with anything else, go to YouTube and just put in Kenny Omega versus Okada or Omega versus Okada, whatever you want to type it. Just watch everything that pops up.
Because it's incredible.
Everything that they do is amazing.
Incredible. The time limit draw one, probably my favourite, but I do also have a lot of love for the one where Omega finally beats him, just for Don Callis and commentary roaring, "Out the leg!" as he tries to pin him. Out the leg! He forgets he's a commentator and goes on like a parent. Out the leg! Oh my god! As the referee's hitting the 3 count, it is outstanding. Absolutely outstanding bit of commentary. Oh Christ. Well lads, I think we better get ourselves out of here. We have podcast recording to do at the weekend and after, obviously, the Forbidden Door event. So, same as usual kind of schedule going forward next week. Hope you've enjoyed this wee cheeky podcast out of nowhere. Any final words, lads?
No.
Cheese.
Nah, cool. Cheese, right? I'm really with cheese. As always, social media, blah, blah, blah. It's all there.
Computer says no.
Get out of here. Cheese.
Cheese and Tuesday.
Cheesy then. Right, bye. Bye.